Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. We are here today with the folks from Emsisoft. We've got Luke Connolly, who is the head of sales, and Davlat Aminov, who is the director of business development and sales. Welcome, everyone. How are you doing?
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
All's good here. Thanks for hosting us.
Always a
Good
pleasure
morning,
to
good
have
evening,
you.
everybody.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you guys on the show here. So I always like to ask everyone, and I know this will be an interesting conversation because I think we're all spread out. So Luke, where are you based out of right now?
Well, so my background is New Zealand because Emsisoft is
Okay.
a New Zealand company, but I'm based in Canada, so we have almost a foot of snow coming today.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, Davlat, if I'm not mistaken, are you still in Germany?
Yeah, I'm based in Germany, in Berlin. It's pretty cold now, but we're excited to get to the Christmas feeling.
I got you. Well, I'm excited too. I am in South Carolina, and well, I think we could probably just draw a big old line around where everybody's at. So we're very spread out. The weather for me is 66 and rainy today. How about you guys? I know it's cold for where you are, Luke, because
Yeah,
talking about
well,
snow.
I'm just it's actually what 35 right now, so 2 degrees Celsius.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
we
How
have
about you?
around minus five degrees Celsius during the day, evening. Pretty cold,
Pretty cold,
but
pretty
not as
cold.
cold as Canada, I'm sure.
Good deal. Well, I think we're going to be talking today about Emsisoft's new partner program and referral share, correct? Awesome.
Absolutely. We've introduced some new stuff, and it's really recognition of the fact that our channels are the most important way that we interact with our customers, and we like to reward them because of that. Okay,
excellent. So this is kind of a new thing that Emsisoft is doing. I'll call it a thing, but it's really exactly what it says, a revenue share. So how is this different from other security companies that will give their partners a commission or whatever on the sales of their product? How does the new revenue share program differentiate from the standard way of doing it?
Well, the standard way of doing it is that the partners get rewarded when they take action.
Okay.
That's the thing. For example, like, okay, you sell the software or you sell the license to your customers and you get the margin from it, right? So the partners need to take action. That's why I've been also with Emsisoft for many years. But as a partner-focused vendor, we continuously want to think like, okay, how we close any loophole that's not beneficial for the partners. And one thing we noticed is that even though we did many things to help our partners to retain their customers, there were still cases where our partners were losing some of their customers to the online purchase. So basically, in other words, some of their customers were, instead of contacting or renewing their license through our partner, they were going to our website and renewing their license online.
Okay.
What was happening is that our partners were losing their customers and missing their share. And that's the case with all vendors, basically, right? So some vendors, they actively try to take the customer directly, or some vendors, they don't actively do that, but still the customer goes directly. But what happens is that at the end of the day, the partner who brought their customer to the vendor is left out.
Yep.
That's what we wanted to close. We said, hey, this is not fair. This is not fair to leave the partner out. So how we close that gap is that, okay, we will help our partner to retain their customers, to provide service and offer renewals and have the added value to their offerings. But if for whatever reason, whether the customer wants it or does it by mistake, if the customer ever renews his or her license online from our website, the partner is automatically getting 25% margin from the sales every year.
Great.
Every year. So that will guarantee that every single Emsisoft partner will receive revenue or benefit or profit from every single license renewal they ever sold to their customers.
And this is available to all Emsisoft partners.
Exactly. And there is
Okay.
nothing they need to do anything extra. It's already part of their Emsisoft partner account. So the only condition is as long as they have their license keys registered to their partner account, which is by default the case for all the license they buy now.
Okay.
Is that this is how we will track the licenses, and we will do the crediting to their account, and they can see how much credit they have collected in their partner account.
Okay, great. And they can get to their partner account just is that the cloud console,
Exactly.
get into the cloud console, and then I got to tell you, I've been using the cloud console now. I think it's been around publicly for about a year now. I know you've had it for a while, but the revamp and the facelift for everything, moving all the licenses over to the cloud console. So it's I've really enjoyed it. It's very simplistic. I feel secure because I've got it locked down with 2-factor, which is good. So I know you guys are always on the forefront of keeping our stuff secure. So we'll leave it at that. But that's what the business that you're in. So that's great. Well, what are some success stories that you've heard with other partners who are, reselling the Emsisoft product? What are some success stories you've heard with the referral share link? Have you got any good stuff so far, or is it too new yet?
It's new. We have released it just a month ago. It was, I think, Luke, the exact date was around like 5th of November, right?
Okay.
So
I think we first actually announced it. Like it might have been available on. We released it in the product, but we first actually announced it to an audience maybe 3 weeks ago. So it's quite new, and we were seeing uptake right away.
Yeah. We must say, Scott, the interesting part about it is that we already see partners collecting their first revenue share. We see, like, for example, like when we present it to partners and we say, okay, let's check. And they already have some revenue collected in their account. The interesting part is that because they have to do nothing about it, For example, Scott, there might be customers that they renewed their license in the past and they are still on subscription. And the partner, the reseller may not even remember about it. But the next time the renewal happens, we automatically link that sales to the partner, and the partner gets 25% cut from the sales price, from the net sales price after tax. But from the sales price, they get, for example, 25%. For example, one PC Emsisoft license now costs $40. And after sales tax and e-commerce, it's something like $38 or $37. So they're getting 25% from that. And we already see that. So the partners don't need to do anything. That's the beauty. It's that everything
Nothing
happens
to track.
in the background. Nothing.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, they check their credit and they see, for example, the minimum credit they can cash out. So we have two options. They can cash out the credit. Once they reach $1,000, they click like collect my claim my credit. We will transfer the amount to their bank account, cash. Or if they want to receive it earlier, they can use their credit at any point to buy new Emsisoft licenses.
Okay.
Right.
So like
we have this flexibility. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, for example, the partners would be buying new license anyways, right? So instead of paying for that, they simply say, okay, let me use my credit. For example, I have $100 collected as credit, and they can do that. Or they can keep their credit, and then at the end of the year, or when they reach the $1,000, they simply send an invoice, and we transfer the amount to their bank account, cash.
Okay. Couldn't be any easier than that. Just like at a regular retail store. If you have a credit, they can apply it towards the purchase.
Right. Okay. You asked about the success story. It's new. We don't have an exact success story that we can present beautifully. However, let me give you this example I have. For example, this best suits this for retail stores particularly, or break and fix stores, for example. And when they refurbish computers, fix computers, for example, they put Emsisoft, activate the license and ship it and tell the customer, okay, next year when the renewal is up, I put antivirus with 1-year license, for example, right? They charge, they don't charge, it's up to them. And next year when the renewal comes, click, you will see a notification, click and all renew from the vendor, right? They can say that. And they don't need to set up workspace. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to create any user account, no credit card, nothing needed. Install the software, activate the license, tell the customer to renew online next year. Next year, the customer will renew online. We take care of the renewal process, the payment process, the support would take care of it. And the customer, the partner in the background will simply collect the credit every year,
Wow.
right? So let me give you an example. We have partners who put Emsisoft on a path between 200 to 1,000 computers every year, and you can imagine how much credit they can collect over the years. Right?
Nice.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. It's just creating a passive income stream in the background.
Well, I have been a reseller myself of Emsisoft for several years. We believe in the product. We install it for our customers, and we stand behind the product. So I have got a lot of renewals already under my belt that come through automatically, as you know. This just means additional revenue that I don't have to even worry about, as long as that key starts with me and is sold to me from Emsisoft. Emsisoft knows that key originated with me as the partner.
Exactly.
So leave it to you, and you guys handle everything. I just need to resell that key. And like you said, if we have a refurb or a computer we ship out and sell, even a retail store environment, whether the partner wants to sell Emsisoft that first year, or if they want to just simply preload the operating system on that machine that they sell with Emsisoft, however they do it is fine. But at the end of the next year, when they go to that customer, the end user renews, then Emsisoft will automatically credit that reselling partner of that key. And then it's just a beautiful thing, where before the reselling partner, if the customer renewed directly with Emsisoft, the reselling partner was out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because we didn't have this system of tracking it. Now we have the system of tracking, and now you will receive, the reselling partner will receive the margin every year. And remember, our renewal rate is pretty high. It's around between 75 to 80% our renewal rate. On average, our customers stay with us with renewal around like 4 to 5 years. Right. Wow. So when you sell a license, Emsisoft license, and the customer renews, we are talking about 25% share every year for the next 4 to 5 years on average, right? And it's a very good recurring revenue stream. We call it passive recurring revenue stream. So you will invest, like I have a big investment, Emsisoft investment there, and it pays me dividends every time somebody says. It's a great, it could be also part of your retirement plan as well for many partners.
Absolutely.
I put Emsisoft on, say the target is 1,000 computers out there, and if they renew every year and I receive my margin, that's how much I get. Pretty good calculation, actually.
So if a partner is selling 1,000 licenses a year for Emsisoft, and 25% of that'd be, what's the math? What's approximate of that? 200.
Yes, no, that's a good calculation. For example, let's say 1,000 licenses, for example, right? Or the partner collected 1,000 renewals, let's say, over the next 1 or 2 years, right? For example, not every customer may not renew next year, but let's say they reached 1,000 subscribed or renewed customers.
Okay.
And if we're talking about one PC, that's around like from 25% from $40 after deducting taxes. So we are talking about something like $8 per customer the partner would be earning, right? So we are talking about $8,000.
That's right. Okay. 8,000.
Eight to 9,000. No, around $9,000 dollars.
And extra money that they weren't getting before.
Exactly. For which they have to do nothing. And right? That's so just in the background.
And the customer, the end user, is not paying
Yeah.
anything additional. So it's not
Exactly.
coming off the customer's back.
No. It's coming from our side as a way
Okay.
of rewarding the partner for their initial effort. Look, it may seem to be too good to be true, and it's like why Emsisoft would be, giving up all these, for example, money to the partner, and they do all the renewals and support, but they keep renewing. Is it too good to be true? No. The way we see it is that the partner is bringing this customer to us. For example, you as our partner, you
Sure.
bring the customer to us. It's your effort. So what we are doing is that, Scott, you bring us the customer, okay? We take care of it, and you are part of our of this sales cycle. That's how we see it, right? Instead of saying like, Scott, thank you for bringing this customer. Here's your initial margin. Goodbye, and please bring us more customers. We are saying, Scott, let's do it together, right?
Yep.
Let's do it together. We build the software, you bring the customer, and we create this system where we all benefit. The customer gets very good protection and decent price. You get your margins, and you serve the customer with good product, and we serve you and we serve the customer. So that's our idea, to create this system, the cycle where everybody is included in the licensing and revenue.
It's really
Excellent.
a question of where we want to put our investments too, right? Like we could invest in ads, and we would be competing against companies that are much larger than us, and the ads are sometimes of questionable benefit. Whereas if we invest in the relationships that we have with our MSP partners, we know there's an immediate return on that, and for us, it's a no-brainer.
Very good.
Exactly.
No, that makes total sense. So rather than giving it to a big company like Google, who's going to, charge you for advertising, SEO, and all that stuff, and it may or may not work, why not go back to the partners that are on the team and reward them for their efforts as well? So no, that makes total sense. Well, do you want to share the cloud console? Do you want to show the viewers the cloud console? Do you have a demo or anything that you want to share?
We weren't going to demo the product.
Okay.
I could do, but what we do have is a presentation that goes into the details of what we've been talking about. I would imagine that some of your audience perhaps haven't heard of Emsisoft, so we do a quick introduction to the company.
Yeah.
And if they do want to look at the console, and it is generally recognized as one of the best, if not the best, cloud-based management consoles for MSPs. If they do want to get more information, then they can reach out and contact myself or Davlat, or go directly to our website and make a request through our chat, and it gets to us.
Okay.
And we'll just set up a meeting.
Sounds great.
So I believe you can see my screen now. Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So thanks, Scott. Love the chat. We've covered off a fair bit of it, but I think we still have some content here to help our partners just understand a bit more about what we're talking about and who we are as a company. So again, my name is Luke Connolly. I head up sales, and I work with our partner program. And I'm joined by Davlat, who heads up business development. I'm based in Canada. Davlat is in Berlin, in Germany. And really quickly, the topics that we're going to touch on today: a brief introduction to Emsisoft. Again, some of your audience might not be familiar with us. A really quick overview of our product. And then we want to touch on the programs that we've been chatting about. So our Renewal Revenue Share Program and our partner Referral Revenue Share Program. And we actually have some new pricing for one edition of our product. So Davlat will talk about the real benefit there. There's increased margin for our partners, actually. And finally, Davlat will do a really quick summary of our licensing and deployment options. So Emsisoft, if you don't know us, we're based in New Zealand. We're a cybersecurity company offering endpoint security. And we've been around for almost 20 years. So our primary goal as a company is to deliver effective, reliable, and unobtrusive security solutions for MSPs and your customers. Our secondary goal, and this really speaks to what this presentation is about and these changes are about, our secondary goal is to help our business partners by making healthy margins available for them with our products, by helping to retain our MSP partners, customers, and helping them to earn from all of the license renewals which take place. So we're always listening to our partners, and we've recently made these changes because of what we've heard back. And as I talk about these goals, these corporate goals that we have as a company, one thing that's worth noting is that MSPs don't have to compromise between offering the best security for their customers and getting the best margins for themselves. What we try to do is offer both the best security and the best margins for our partners. And really quickly, I've just got a couple of slides here. If you haven't heard about Emsisoft, we're quite well known in the cybersecurity community for our contribution, both for endpoint protection and for remediation. In fact, this slide is a graphic from earlier this year, and it was made by Europol, the European law enforcement agency. It launched an initiative called No More Ransom, along with the Netherlands police and a number of security companies, with the goal of helping victims of ransomware retrieve their encrypted data without having to pay the criminals. And this graphic shows the contributions made by various companies towards that goal. So you might have heard of companies like Checkpoint and Esset and McAfee, but then way out in front, both in terms of contributions against ransomware families and in terms of tools to help victims of ransomware, is Emsisoft. And we've contributed to 67 ransomware families and 67 tools as well. And that represents almost half of the total number of tools and a third of the ransomware companies of all of the contributions.
Very good.
And much of the work that we do and much of the work that we've done is behind the scenes. But because of this work, and particularly in some high-profile incidents, we've been front and center in some articles from news sources that you might have heard of, like the New York Times. This one was from October of last year, and it talks about some of the really high-profile corporate breaches that took place and some of the work that Emsisoft was involved with in remediation of those breaches. As well, the BBC, this was an article from a bit longer ago. It was from the late teens and specifically talks about our CTO, where he was specifically singled out by some of the threat actors because he was so effective at interrupting their revenue stream. So just a couple, these two slides were really just to establish, yeah, we've been around for a while, and the good guys know us and the bad guys know us too. So, as I mentioned, our primary goal is to deliver effective, reliable, and unobtrusive security solutions for MSPs and their customers. So we have 3 different editions. They all offer the same multi-layered active endpoint protection. So we have web protection, we have a file guard, which is the traditional AV based on signatures, and we have behavior blocker. We were one of the first software protection companies to offer behavior-based protection as part of our product back approaching 10 years now. Something that's new this year as well is that we offer cloud-based EDR detection. So if you're not familiar with EDR, endpoint detection and response, it looks for specific activity that's indicative of the way threat actors behave when they try to attack a system. So they do specific activities for initial access, for lateral movement once they get access, for privilege escalation. And there's a company called MITRE, which has a framework called ATT&CK. And the MITRE ATT&CK framework consists of a number of tactics, techniques, and procedures. Our EDR detection specifically looks for the known threat actor tactics, techniques, and procedures as defined by MITRE ATT&CK. So this is a detection layer. It's a cloud-based detection layer that's available within our products. And then we also offer threat hunting and incident response. So threat hunting specifically allows you to do deep queries across all of your endpoints and network, looking for indicators of compromise to understand, more deeply and look for more deeply clues that there might have been a threat actor actually gaining access to your network. In terms of our endpoint protection areas on top of the pure protection that we offer that are really of value to MSPs are that we offer a customizable endpoint UI, so you can brand it with your own brand. We offer customizable reports, and reports are increasingly important, particularly in areas where customers, insurance companies, their cybersecurity companies, are requiring, for compliance reasons, history and reports related to the security of their network and endpoints. And then as well, our cloud-based management console we talked about a bit earlier supports policy templates so that you can create a configuration or multiple configurations once and then apply them and have them consistently applied to all of your customers and their endpoints. So there's no need to manage all of the endpoints and the security settings on each of them individually.
That's really nice. I've enjoyed that. I've actually gotten into policies in mine and my cloud console, and it's so nice when you deploy that to that new Emsisoft agent on a new computer, and everything's just there. No more going in and going to settings and on each single one. So the automation is really nice with it.
Yeah, and you will have noticed that you can set a policy template for your MSP as a standard template, and then once you add a new customer, the installer is tokenized for that customer, and that customer automatically has all of those policy settings applied to an endpoint when it's brought up. So it really streamlines that process, and at the same time, it ensures that the proper settings are in place so that the endpoints are secure as you wish.
Okay. Yeah, I have used the link and everything to install, and it's already built in. It's activated when they install it. So there's no more put your key in here. Now let's validate your key. All that's done away with now. So it's so much better.
And with that centralized console, you can view any security incidents across all of your customers or on a per customer basis. So that speaks to our endpoint detection and response, something that's increasingly becoming a standard. But one thing that we are really proud of is our ability to introduce this to the market at a very competitive price point.
Yeah.
And with that, I think I'm going to pass it over to Davlat, who is going to touch on the new plans that we've talked about.
So let me ask you one quick question before Davlat jumps in. The EDR, is there an additional cost to the EDR, or is that included in all the licensing?
So we have 3 additions to our product. We have the Home Edition, which has the same basic protection, the same endpoint protection, which has multiple layers. We have our Business Edition, which adds some flexibility in the way you can define policies, a number of policies which can be defined. It also has extended cloud retention of logs for EDR.
Okay.
And then the threat hunting that I talked about is available with our Enterprise Edition.
Okay.
It has the longest retention of log data, and it introduces the threat hunting, so the ability to do queries looking for specific indicators of compromise.
Awesome.
Just if I may add something here, is that the short answer to your question, Scott, is that no, it's not an additional an add-on, and it doesn't require any additional cost. The EDR is included in our software and in the cloud, and that's the good part of it. The partners, the customers, and both partners and customers, they don't have to pay extra for that, and they don't have to install it extra for that. For example, some of the vendors, many of them, they charge extra, and you have to install it extra as an add-on. We made it simplified. What Luke is saying with the addition is that the EDR consists of 2 parts. One is the incident response, and the other one is active threat hunting. The incident response is that basically we find the incidents, and then we let the partners or the admins to decide whether they are threats or not. The active threat hunting is that we have the queries. I think we have extended it to over several hundreds, that you can query certain activities within the network to see whether there is a suspicious activity. So the incident response component of the EDR is included in the Business Edition, which, for example, for MSPs costs just $1 per device per month, including endpoint protection and incident response EDR light version, call it.
Very good. Okay.
The The full EDR, which also includes the threat hunting part, is included in the enterprise edition, which costs, for example, for MSPs, $1.5 per device per month. It's still very, very cheap for an MSP pricing. If you consider endpoint protection, multi-layered endpoint protection, including full EDR.
And it's worth pointing out that there's, as Davlat said, there's no need to install an additional agent. There's just one installation. It's a licensing configuration which specifies what features you get access to.
And what RMMs does Emsisoft integrate with now currently? And I think Synchro and Datto, is that right?
We are integrated with Synchro. It's a full integration, meaning the software integration and the licensing integration. We also integrated with Atera RMM platform.
Okay.
It's also full integration, but the feature integration is coming up now. So you have access to Emsisoft through Atera, to licensing, and the billing is through Atera. And we also have the call it light integration with Datto, where it's the not licensing integration, but the software integration we have. And we are currently working with a couple of other RMM vendors on the integration. So we'll have more vendors will be available. Emsisoft will be available on more RMM platforms, hopefully next year. Okay,
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
And as a partner-focused vendor who delivers its solution primarily for resellers and MSPs, I will be talking in the second slides as well, that our ultimate goal is to be available to all MSPs across the platforms.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
And the beauty of it is that we have standard offering and standard prices. For example, we are seeing with other vendors is that, for example, you may have, for example, let's call it competitor A, his solution or their solution is they have certain features in one platform, they don't have certain features in other platform, right? For example, they use add-ons, for example, and the add-on is available on this platform, it's not available on this. The pricing differs on this one is so much and on that one so much, depending what the deal they have with the RMM vendor. We try to eliminate that. So all Emsisoft features, including the Cloud Console, is available for all our partners across all the platforms. And the pricing is standard across everybody. Even if the partner, for example, even if you, for example, would come to us and license with us directly, it's the same price if you would go to one of our RMM partners. So we basically, if you work already with one of our RMM partners, we always support or recommend you to license through them and still have all the features, access to all the Emsisoft features.
And the integrations in the RMM platforms.
Is advantages, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, I didn't mean to get you sidetracked, Davlat.
say again, Scott?
I was saying I didn't mean to get you sidetracked on that. I know Luke had passed it over to you.
This is a very, very interesting question, and it's very relevant for the audience as well. For example, Scott, you also, for example, license Emsisoft yearly license with us directly, and I think your monthly you use, for example, through Synchro, right?
Yep.
And this is also one of the advantages with Emsisoft is that you have the flexibility. So we don't say like, oh, you have to do. So you want to license your monthly through one of our RMM platform providers, partners. That's absolutely what we support. And then you say, I also have need for my retail customers for yearly license because, I don't do monthly billing, monthly service to them. I just put the software with yearly license. That's it. For that, for example, you can do it. And this is all in one platform. Look, I think we are on the next page already. We talked about the renewal revenue share. It's 25%. And what is here is that, as I mentioned, Emsisoft is a vendor, channel-focused vendor. And we try to provide the flexibility to our partners. So we provide the technology, the protection for the end customers, for the machines, for the people. That's what we protect, no question about it, right? So we don't build an antivirus just to sell to partners. No, we build it to protect the users, to protect people from cyber attacks. Our business model is focused for partners. So when we make something around the software, be it pricing, discount, platforms, which is not to protect, but to create conditions, this is what we built for partners. That's why we call ourselves partner-focused vendor. Now, with Emsisoft, you have the flexibilities. For example, you can choose the yearly license or monthly license in the same platform. Just mix them. And if you go, for example, the monthly license, it's simple. It's $1 per device per month, for example. You pay only for the device that you protect from month to month. You can add, remove device. You can add and remove clients, cancel, add again. So you have all the flexibilities.
So no
right?
1 year
So
commitment. If you do monthly, it's not,
exactly.
you're not locked into an agreement for that license for a year.
Exactly.
If you want to stop it in 2 months, it's month to month.
Exactly. Okay. It's from month to month, and you pay $1 for every device.
Add and remove endpoints as required.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I know that some other vendors, they want you to commit for yearly, for 1 year, for example, and pay monthly. With us, we have the flexibility. You pay from month to month. You didn't like after 2 months, you terminate all your workspace or clients, and then you're out, you don't pay anything, right? And then if you go, for example, with the yearly option, you have again 2 ways of yearly option. For example, you can buy license on demand as the client comes. For example, you have a business client and they have need for 10 devices. You go and buy 10 device business license, and you get, for example, 30% partner margin on that, right?
Okay.
Or you can buy license in bulk, for example, for your retail customers, this one, and the bulk means 10 or higher units, and you have higher margins. That's the difference. So you are buying, instead of 1 license at a time, you are buying 10 or more licenses at a time, and your discount, instead of 30% from on-demand, it's increasing to 60% minimum. So your discount, partner discount, is 60% up to 70%, depending on the volume. For example, 10 units, 25 units, 50 or 100 units. That creates the markup price margin for you around like 150 and 200%, for example. From the price you buy, from the price you sell to the customer, around, we calculated it's 185% markup margin you have from the sales of your Emsisoft. This is when you sell to the customer directly. Of course, the first year, that's how you sell. And even the renewal, you can still keep receiving the 60+% margin, or the 100-something markup, high margin, and still sell this license as renewal to your customers. And then you may say, Davlat, you are saying that here you give me for the year bulk licenses 60+% margin, but then for the renewals, if they renew directly, you are giving me 25%. Why should I ask my customers to renew directly? Exactly, that's the point, right? So we help our partners to provide the continuous service to your customers, right? So we say, Scott, keep your customers, service them, earn more from them, right? And however, you still have the option to say, okay, I don't have time for that, because we heard from many partners saying like, I don't have time to follow up with the renewals. We say, okay, in such case, you have the option to still get the rewarded with the renewals. Okay. Next slide, please. This is what we talked about, the licensing. So you have the monthly option, yearly option. Inside the yearly, you have on-demand purchase and bulk purchase option. Now comes the setup process, right? So when your customer comes, for example, you may have different type of customers. You may be an MSP, then it's decided. So if you are purely MSP, then it's decided. You only service your customers. You need monthly, you set up workspace and everything. However, many partners, they have mixed business model. They have some of their customers, they are managed customers, for example, business customers. On the side, they may still have retail customers. People come and bring their PCs and it's broken, they fix, put antivirus and put license. Now, we have created this flexibility for them. And for example, in this example that we have created in this chart, is that first the customer comes and the partner asks the question, okay, do I want to service the customer or not, right? So if your answer is no, I don't want to service the customer, service meaning that continuous service, right? So the renewal service. If the customer, the question is, no, I don't want to continue service. It's just one-time sales opportunity. Then you simply install the software, activate the license, and tell the customer to renew online next year, right? The advantage is you don't have to set up workspace. You don't have to create any workspace for them. You don't have to follow up for renewal with the customer next year. You don't have to sell renewal. You don't have to do the support. And you get 25% margin from the customer's renewal every year. Okay.
So even if they keep it for 10 years,
even
you'll
if
get
they
that
keep it for
25% margin.
every
And
year.
you never see them
Every
again. You never see them
Exactly.
again. You still get 25%.
Awesome.
Right. This is one-time sales cases. It's mostly, for example, the example would be retail stores when they come, when they fix the computer, put an antivirus, put the license, and they have the high chance that this customer may not come back for the renewal, for example, right?
Okay.
However, and then you have the customers whom you provide service, be it home users or businesses. So if your answer is yes, I'm going to service this customer, first thing you do is you create the workspace in your partner platform. You create the workspace, and then you choose either monthly licensing option or the yearly licensing option, right? And then comes the advantage of creating workspace is that you will have full control over the renewals.
Mm-hmm.
You can customize your user interface and rebrand it. You can apply your policy templates. The end customer will not receive renewal notifications. And at the end of the year, you will receive a renewal reminder from us per email, and you follow up with the customer for renewal, right? So in this scenario, we call it service customer. You become the service provider. In the other scenario, not service customer, you become a seller. So this is the difference. Are you a seller to this customer or the service provider, right? Service provider, meaning that you create the workspace, you have full control, and you have access to the EDR capabilities and things, and you provide us that. So we help you in both scenarios. So if you say no, it's a one-time case, then it's no service provided case, and then we help you to easily install the software, activate it, and still receive your continuous benefit. But if you say no, it's a service scenario, then we help you to set up the workspace and to service the customer. To say both things in the same platform, and you can mix them.
Well, that is a wonderful way to integrate with IT service providers because, as we all know, some are MSP, some are break fix, some have retail storefronts, and Emsisoft will work with you at any fashion. So take your business model and see which way works best for you and your business. So excellent.
Exactly. This is especially, Scott, this is especially helping many traditional resellers, traditional break and fix shops to migrate from one-time sales to service provider, to servicing their customers, offering service, right?
Sure.
So we have many partners who have worked with us in the past, and they have been over the years, they have been providing break and fix service, right? So computer comes, they fix it, sell the antivirus. Now, what we are selling is that don't sell antivirus, sell your service, and let us help you with that, right? And then they say, how do I do that? So instead of just installing the software and losing the customer, set up a workspace, establish a connection with the customer. Even if you don't charge them monthly, even if you charge them yearly, tell them, hey, my bonus to you is that once a year, I check your computer remotely, make sure that it's clean, and I help you with the renewal process, right?
Yep.
This is already the beginning of providing a service to the customer. And this way, the customer may be interested, okay, you know what? Why don't you do the checking not once a year, but once a month? Okay, I have this service for you as well. It's called managed service, right?
Yep.
And then what instead of, for example, can you also do backup and all these things? You know, so slowly we are helping out many of our partners to migrate from pure retail and reseller model to mix of managed service model. And many partners, believe me, they are really, really excited about it.
And because they can rebrand, when they go to that service model, they can rebrand the AV. It gives them the opportunity to maintain that presence in their customer's mind. So rather than just someone's walked in and they, I make whatever amount of money for a fix and they walk out, this allows you to enter that recurring revenue stream with a relationship with the customer and reinforce your brand as you do so.
Well, we've been a proud reseller of Emsisoft for several years, as you know, Davlat. And, a
Yes.
couple years ago, I only ran a break fix repair shop. That's it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
due to my own community, IT Business Owners Group, and Emsisoft and valued partners like Emsisoft, I have migrated the majority of my clients into a managed position, both on a home basis and as a commercial. So we're probably 75% commercial now, but we still have some residential clients that have been with us over the years and we continue to support. But, what you had mentioned earlier, Davlat, is exactly what happened with us. We utilized tools like Emsisoft and strategically worked it with the customer so that it was an easier move into the managed situation. So we don't do a whole lot of a lot of break fix anymore. We are, we are mainly managed at this point. So
And how is it working for you?
It's working good. I like it. I'm definitely liking the recurring revenue stream over the, I used to tell everybody when I was working on, with these clients in a break fix fashion, I didn't really understand because, nobody's just going to up and tell you about it unless you're in a community of like-minded people like IT Business Owners Group. But I didn't understand, I always thought all I needed to do to be a business owner was just take care of the customer, do what's best for the customer. And I always did what's best for the customer, but I overlooked what's best for me and to grow my business so that I can be there for the customer. So, I used to have this saying, Davlat, I would go service a client. I may not have heard from them, but, in the past 6 months, but I would always tell them, and I've stopped myself from doing this, but I would always leave. I'd shake their hand and I'd say, all right, well, thank you so much for allowing me to help you with this problem. Just call me next time you need me. That was like my tagline. Call me next time you need me. Well, I don't want them to call me next time they need me. So, now, I've completely changed that mindset. And things are much smoother. I don't have the crisis calls that I used to have. The life is just so much easier. So
right. And it's also with the business, with the managed service model, it's a Scott, I'm seeing so much like your experience. Also, one thing that I've been seeing over the last years, that how you migrated from a break and fix to manage, and the beauty about it is that it's this business model is you become from a technician to service provider and having continuous connection with your customer, right?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, of course, on a intensive, on a higher level, for example, managed cybersecurity, meaning like you check it everywhere, every day. But it doesn't have to be like that, for example, with all the types of customers, right? And that's the beauty, is that instead of, like you said, saying like, call me when you need it, it's like, no, we're staying connected now, right?
That's right.
I will take care of your IT services, or at least your essential IT services. I'll take care of it. So we are connected, hopefully, eternally. That would be your tagline with the customers when you onboard them. Beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely don't use that old tagline anymore. I don't think I've used that in probably 2 years now, 2 or 3 years. So, but it was an okay tagline. But if you were trying to get the customer to always, if you want to get connected with the customer and stay connected, like you said, you want to become their trusted advisor, then you need to have a constant relationship with them. And that's really the way to do it.
Exactly. So, I absolutely agree with that.
I'm happy to say that Emsisoft has supported me over the years and worked with me at every aspect of my business, whether I was 100% break fix, as you know, when we first started, up
Yeah.
to, now where we are, we have a small amount. So most of our Emsisoft licensing goes through Synchro, but we have a small amount that we do still maintain keys for. And, my thing is, hey, if all they want to do is buy antivirus from me once a year or a security product once a year, then, that's fine. I'm not going to turn down the work. But it's easy to turn them in when you make those annual calls to give the renewal. It's easy to take that as an opportunity. Hey, let me tell you about a new service that we're offering. And I won't say that it's been easy to convert break fix to manage, but it certainly hasn't been hard either. It's been a slow, gradual process. So you just got to take it customer by customer.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end, you offer value. You offer your service and not just a protocol license. That's what I really like about it. Sometimes I get question from new partners and saying like, okay, if I offer Emsisoft, including my service, how much should I sell the license for? That's the beauty about it, is that you can put any price you want. What's your service is worth, right? So the software license is worth, for example, $30, and now it's $40, the retail price. But that's the retail price that you thought. But you're putting there your service. So now the question is that value your service. So put the service on it, right? And that's how the business gets even more interesting. Saying like, okay, I'm not just buying and reselling a license or software. I'm actually reselling or providing my expertise, my service to the customer. And then you can put any tag you want. For example, we have partners who are charging for their managed service per year around like $80, $100 a year, for example, but for AV part, not just charging for the license, but including the service. But yeah, exactly. That's that your service becomes the value now.
Yep, absolutely.
And we really help the partners to transition, like you said in this graph, from non-service model to the service model. And we provide all the opportunities for them, including the cloud portal, the cloud portal, the workspace, remote management, even rebranding. As Luke said, is that, hey, if you want to establish your strong brand with your customers, why not? Why should it be a third-party product? When you say, okay, I have my own cybersecurity solution. I don't develop it, but I have picked it, I have made it for you, and here it comes with your logo. It increases your brand loyalty with your customers as well, and helps you to sell more services to them.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Davlat, I've got a question for you. I know we've got a lot of viewers who are watching and they are interested in your product. What is the best way, if they are not currently an Emsisoft partner, to get in touch with your team and get the process started? How can they get in touch with you guys?
First thing would be in your announcement could be your registration link for them, and they could click it and register, and one of our account partner representatives would contact them within 24 hours and onboard them very quickly. The process is very simple. They click the link, sign up, submit their contact information. We contact them for the first initial questions and activate, and then they can start. There is no fee, there is no commitment, there is no minimum sales requirement. Okay.
I'll be sure to post that in the comments as well, that link, so people can get started. So excellent. Well, is there anything else that you want the viewers to know about with Emsisoft? Any other details before we wrap it up?
No, one thing is, we as we are wrapping up the 2022, which has been very busy for us with the new features, and particularly this year, we focused on providing more new features for partners, like this revenue share program, referral program, and the pricing. And so next year we have also a long list. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to disclose them, even though I get like, well, I want to tell about it to the world. The thing is, my boss tells me, no, just keep it quiet for now. But we have a long list of features planned for next year.
There's some really cool things in the pipe.
Yeah, Scott, I'm sure you will be excited about them as well. Some of the things that you have been asking. for the past couple of years, and we have finally got there. Very
Excellent.
close, very close. Those things will be coming. And one thing that this is what I can disclose, hopefully without any repercussions to my employment, is that some partners, when we presented the Renewal Revenue Share Program, some of our reseller partners, they said, okay, it's beautiful. When I put a license and the next year they renew, I get the share. Cool. What if I put the trial version, for example, they said, because they said, I fixed so many computers, not all of them I can sell license, but I could put on all of them, for example, 30-day Emsisoft trial version, and they may purchase license or not, but if they purchase, I would be really appreciate if I get rewarded for that as well. We have worked out that now we are in the process of working out the technical details and making it. So it will take a month or two. Hopefully in January, we'll have it available. That means, for example, Scott, as an existing Emsisoft partner, you will have your tagged Emsisoft trial installer.
So it'll be unique installer to each partner.
Unique installer, exactly.
For the trial. So you could
For the
protect
trial.
it. And if that end user actually signs up for it, when the trial expires, then you get the commission, still 25%.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. That's free money.
So exactly. So once the customer purchased the first license after the trial, for example, we connect that customer to you. We say, oh, okay, this trial was installed by Scott, and now we are connecting this customer to Scott, and you will get your 25% from this customer every year as if you sold the first license.
Okay. Can't ask for any better than that.
Thank you.
That's excellent. Wonderful.
That's what's coming next for our partners. Hopefully, as early as January or February. In anyhow, it's planned that we for Q1 2023 next year.
Okay. Exciting. Well, if I think we're going to wrap it up, and I just wanted to wrap it up with saying one thing to both of you. I hope that you have a wonderful and happy Merry Christmas. So.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Scott. We wish you to, and to all the audience. Thank you very much for hosting.
I hope you get some good snow, or if you don't want any, you don't get any.
I would love to see some snow, but I hadn't seen it in a long time in South Carolina. So fingers crossed this year. So, all right. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Scott.